Ready?
Sure. Hi, my name is Olga Bautista. I'm a lifelong resident of the southeast side of Chicago. I got involved with a coalition to ban pet coke about 4 years ago. My neighbor Kate Koval was volunteering with the Southeast Environmental Task Force, and she learned about the pet coke that was being stored on sites that typically stored coal, and the community was unaware that the big black mountains of coal were actually pet coke, and we didn't know what that meant, like what was different about it and all the rest of it. It was when we started to learn about the problem, we became very alarmed. We started to research, and through Google and Facebook and all the rest of it, through social media, we learned that the city of Detroit was fighting to remove pet coke off of their shores because it was contaminating a new community that was recently developed, like fancy condos and all the rest of it, near the Ambassador Bridge. And we also learned that the company that was storing the pet coke was owned by the Koch brothers. And once you started to scratch the surface, we started to realize that this was actually a huge problem. The Koch brothers were behind a lot of the union busting, they're climate change deniers, and would promote research that would validate their stands on the climate change. And the more and more that we would learn about pet coke, about the Koch brothers, the more we were getting serious about getting this stuff completely removed from the community. So fast forward, a lot of things happened very quickly in the beginning. We think that it had a lot to do with the fact that this was the city of Chicago, a big metropolis, a very important city in the country, and this kind of blight was in Chicago. And also the fact that it was the Koch brothers really sensationalized the issue. Looking back, we think that, had it been in a rural area or an area where there wasn't, as many people or people to rally against this problem, it probably would have gone unnoticed. And we, from the beginning, said not only do we not want this in our backyard, we don't want this in anybody's backyard. Like, we hunkered down for a long fight to make sure that no other community, no other families were going to have to fight this fight again, like to set the precedent so high, and say that human lives are valuable, and they're more valuable than the bottom line of a company who are monsters like the Koch brothers. So we have gotten pretty far in the struggle. Like, there are regulations in the city now where there weren't any before. Unfortunately, the companies that had been handling this product were grandfathered in, so these new rules don't apply to them. They have another set of rules for them. Basically, pet coke cannot be stored openly anymore. So as of June of this year, all the pet coke piles have been removed. The side effect is that the beds where the ground where the pet coke was being stored is still full of residual pet coke. And from June until yesterday, when it snowed, that pet coke was still blowing all over the community and inside people's homes. People were still wiping it off. Now that it snowed, it's probably settled a little bit. But that's just until the snow melts, and then we'll be at risk. The other thing is that the facility is supposed to build an enclosure if they want to store petcoke, but they are not gone. They are now bringing the petcoke in through trains, and it goes into this little house. The trains unlock, it goes up high, it's flipped over, and it falls into a hopper. And then I think there's supposed to be like dust measures within that, so like there's water and settles the petcoke as it goes on conveyors and into ships or barges and all the rest of it. But there's trains coming in several times a week, maybe daily, that are coming into the community, and trains are not covered. They're federally mandated or regulated, and so we need a federal mandate in order to cover them, and that hasn't happened yet. So petcoke is coming through communities all over the country on trains, and this is problematic because every time the petcoke train stops and the cars bank up against each other is an opportunity for fugitive dust or petcoke to escape from the trains and put people at risk. The other development that happened was that our Senator Dick Durbin and our state rep Robin Kelly asked the CDC to do a toxicity report, an ATSDR report, and that report just came out in September. And it really validated what the Coalition to Ban Petcoke has been saying all along, that this stuff is harmful to us. It is PM 2.5. It's very fine dust that gets into your lungs and into your bloodstream. And it's extremely problematic because